Okay, this is a Tanto I'm reprofiling. You can see this one got a really bad secondary bevel because you can see the light shines right at the edge of it. So when talking about a bevel, it is something that's out of symmetry. Basically meaning you have an edge like this and at the very end has a tiny bit turn. Now, when you have that tiny bit turn like this, the edge angle can go from somewhere from 20-30 to 70-80 degree entry angle. So what happens is when you have something with a wide angle is it creates a lot of impact at the target you're cutting. So I mean honestly, you know, for battle this and that back in the old days, I don't think it matters, to be honest. I mean, you know, it's probably safer this way, cutting to armor and everything, just like what everybody was saying, and historically accurate or not, whatnot. I mean, it's great. I mean, it shouldn't be any issues. For these days, cutting tatami omote, doing trick cuts on waras or any of that stuff, these kind of bevel and this Chris Cutlery blade is not going to be your best friend. Because what's going to happen is I'll still cut mats and do all that stuff. But it just generates a lot of impact. And it's hard to get static cuts, double cuts, and stuff like that. I mean, it's not saying that it can never be done. It could be done. I mean, it just requires a lot of effort, much more effort than what you do with normal blades. But mainly because the way the blade is designed or grind right at the edge, it's out of symmetry. So you're pushing the target, when you're cutting into it, you're pushing it wide. Let's say right here, this area is the mats. When you cut into it, you're pushing the mat out and then pushing it off the bottom of the mats. So the mat goes flying or something like that. And you cut it for a while because of the bevel edge. It puts a lot of impact toward the blade. That's the reason why this thing right now, it's already loose. After I cut tatami omote for, you know, 2 mats or something like that, because it generates just way too much impact. And before, when I got the blade, it was perfectly tight and everything. I mean, if you look at the Manuki right here, I mean, it's in there. You can see. Okay, but I'm just using my hand. It's already come out. It's already loose. I mean, this whole tuba is already loose. And it's not because they have bad quality. It's because it has a bad edge. And then when you have a widened edge, when you cut into a target, it creates a lot of impact. The impact, first off, is your target is cut where basically, you know, kind of flies away a lot faster. For trick cuts, a finesse cutter, it's not. Secondly is because the impact that it's taking in onto the blade. So every single time you're making this area looser, faster. It doesn't even matter if you're cutting straight, because it's more like a push through. It's kind of hard to explain sometimes, or to explain my ideas. My whole idea is not to have these type of bevel. I mean, you can have niku at different area, ha niku or a hira niku or whatever. But the line has to be perfectly in symmetry. So a continuous curve. And then not specifically widen at the edge to create this offset angle where it generates a lot of impact. You want the blade, when it cuts into it, slips into your target. Once you get that edge, you know, with some bite, and then you got a good symmetrical angle, you know, in the cutting plane, your cut, once it goes in, the edge digs in and the rounded niku kind of separates with it, and everything kind of works in conjunction, and the whole thing just slips right through. and that's the design behind my blades. So, for